So firstly, create a folder weather, open that in VS Code. Open terminal, and we are just going to write npm create void@latest. We are going to select a project name weather, select React, select JavaScript, and we are just going to do cd weather, npm install, and npm run dev. I'm just going to copy and paste it so that all our files and folders can be installed. So let's just go into weather and source. You can see app.jsx. So this is going to be our landing page. Everything is inside app.jsx. So let's just wait until everything is installed. So yeah, everything's installed. Let's just open it quickly. Yeah, so you can see the landing page. I'm going to delete everything. So yeah, I'm going to delete everything. So there's nothing now. Let's change the document title from white plus react to weather app. Index.html and title, you're gonna copy that and change it to weather app. So app. So after that, we're going to app.jsx, delete all the state function, and in state, okay, I did a blunder over here. Import react from react. Just delete it. React from react, and delete all the assets and SPG. Okay, so a source, I'm going to create a folder components, and inside that I'm going to create weather.jsx. And after that, let's just see RFC. So I've created an template using the emmet. I'm just capitalizing the weather, and H1 I'm going to do weather to check. Inside app.jsx, I'm going to mount the weather. Yeah, after that, I'm going to import it. Import weather. So now let's just delete all the CSS from index.css and install Tailwind. So I'm going to delete. Now let's just search up Tailwind white plus react, and you will get to the Tailwind documentation. So before that, I'm going to change the little mistake I did. Weather app it should be, and before that, yeah, now let's just do Tailwind white react, and after that the first link, and we're going to follow whatever it says in the documentation. So I'm going to do as per the documentation. So yeah, quickly. So I will be quickly installing everything as per the documentation. All my config, tailwind config.js, post css config.js has been installed, and I've applied Tailwind to all my .jsx.tsx files. And then I've run them. So now we will be able to use Tailwind. So let's just check that. Inside the weather.jsx, I'm going to give it a class name of text 3xl, and see. Okay, so Tailwind is working as perfectly. We have installed it correctly. Now after that, let's just create our weather card. Now I'm going to creating our weather. I'll be creating a weather card, and so I will give then a div a class of flex, because we will be creating a responsive design. So inside of that, I'm going to create a box, a gray box. So for that, I'm using a grid for all the elements inside the box. So I'm going to apply a background color of gray. So let's just apply gray 200, and let's just do a max width of access, and I'm going to use some Tailwind to make it responsive. For small, we are using the max width of small. For medium, we are using medium. So if you don't know Tailwind, make sure to check out Tailwind first. So I'm going to use some Tailwind design here, Tailwind classes here to make a responsive box. Now let's give the padding of 6, so the box is now visible. Now after that, let's insert some text over there, create another div, and so after all the Tailwind has been done, now let's check it if it is responsive or not. I'll be checking it quickly. So yes, the box is responsive. Now let's add all the elements inside the box. So now let's just create another div and class name, text, Excel, font semi bold, and MB4, so margin 4. So bring it in the center using justify center. After that, we are going to create a search box and a button. So inside a div, I'm going to create a grid. So grid of column of 5 and a gap of 2 and some margin. And after that, I'm going to create an input of type text and a placeholder of enter city. So after that, I am going to style it. I'm going to give it a class name of 4 column, and then I'm going to give it some padding of 2, and so border of grayish border. So some round edges, rounded medium, and I don't like the black thing, so I'm going to remove the focus. So yeah, focus outline none. After that, I am going to create a button. So inside a button, I'm going to place an icon. For that, let's install npm react icons, and then after that, let's search, and then I'm going to just import everything and then place the component inside the button. So yeah, placing ci search inside the button, so you can see a very cute button. Now let's style that button. Should we? Okay, yeah, let's style it. I give it a background of some grayish color, some round edges, and some padding of 4. Maybe increase the size and the color. Yeah. After that, I think it's pretty good. Okay, whenever hover, let's make it a dark color. Okay, that's too dark. 800 would be perfect. Yeah. So now we will be going to open weatherapps.org, and inside that you are going to create your account. I've already created. I'm going to my API keys and I'm going to copy my API key. So you'll do that same for your API, and after that we are going into files and creating an environment variable inside the weather folder. I'm going to create .env. Okay, what's happening here? A file name .env, and after that I'm going to, because we are creating invite, we are going to use Vite app ID, and we are going to inside the quotations we are going to paste your API key. So yeah, I've pasted it. Now we have to fetch the URL, and so for that we will go to the we're going to go to the current weather data, API doc, and here you can see built-in API request by city name. So click on that and copy the first link. So you are going to go to your weather.jsx, and now we are going to create a function for fetching the weather data. So let's just create a function which would be an asynchronous function which will help you to fetch the data from your API. So for that we are going to create a function. So let's just creating an asynchronous function. So const search async and an arrow function, and we are going to do a const, then URL, and then backticks and paste whatever we copied. So but our API key is going to be our white app ID, which we have stored in our environmental variables. So we are going to use dollar curly braces and then import dot meta dot env dot white app ID. So yeah, we will be able to access through our API key by using this syntax. So next is our city name, so which will be a variable. So we inside dollar symbol we have used city. So because it is a variable name, we have to pass it inside our function. So let's just give that city an argument. So async a city. So our search function has an argument of city. Now we just fetch it const response is equals to await and fetch, and inside that we'll pass our URL, and after that we will JSONify, that is stringify whatever we get from our API. So for that we will use response.json. So we are going to stringify everything so that we can access everything from our API. So yeah, it gives our data in the JSON format. After that we are going to create a use effect which will render every time we open. So it will render each time so every time it renders we are going to execute the fetch function, that is we are going to execute the search function which is going to fetch the data. So we are passing a static variable, for example Kathmandu, I'm passing it. So every time your app renders, use effect will be run which will provoke the search function, and the search function catches the city argument, that is Kathmandu, and the weather of Kathmandu should be pasted. So I've done a console log. So let's just see, inside the console I'm being returned a promise. So what I have done is a blunder mistake, that I should use await response. So yeah, so await, and now you can see an object has been returned. So what use effect does is every time you re-render it gives a side effect, that is it is executing the search function that is basically fetching the data. So every time a re-render happens, use effect gives you the output of the search function. So now we have to place the object data into our UI. So let's just inside, so if I type London should be extracted. So for that we will be using a state function. So yeah, we will be using a state function const a city, and city creating a state function which will be an empty string initially, but as you change inside the search box, its state will be changed. So const city and the set parameter set city. So I'm going to use a use state and give an initial value of empty string. Yeah, so the city value is currently empty, but using the set city we are going to change it. So inside your input you are going to see whether there is some change or not. Upon any change in your search bar, you are going to write an arrow function that will basically change your city into whatever targeted value is returned inside your search box. So this is the syntax how we do it in React. And so on change, your value now should be city. Yeah. So basically, whatever is inside your search box, upon any change, will change the value of city into particular data that you have just wrote in the search box. So yeah, let's just quickly make some changes in the UI. Temperature, we are going to print some temperature, the city name, and the weather status. So we are going to fetch data from our object and place it in the UI. So let's just create that. So yeah, after that we will be creating an use state with objects which will change the state of temperature, city, and weather status every time there is some change in the city. So we will be using use state with object, that is weather data, that will hold all the data, that will have in every state it will hold the data of the weather. So we are going to use const weather data, that is our state, and set weather data will change our state, and we gonna use state, which is an object. So weather data will be an object, so we are passing a null character inside. So initially it will be null, and after const data await json dot response will have all the data that we fetched, and we'll store that inside our set weather data. So here let's just delete the use effect function. Yeah, quickly delete the and then we will make the search button functional. So let's just go into the button, and on click button we are going to provoke another function which will be handle click. So let's just give it handle click, and let's create an handle click function that it will be const handle click, an arrow function. So if we have a valid city name, then it is going to provoke the search function, that is it is going to fetch if we have city. If this value of city is red, then only it is going to provoke this search city. So after that, if you write London, let's write London and inspect it, right? London, and search it, and in the console you can see an object and see London. Every data, weather data of the London is printed. Let's see New York, and you can see an object is being returned which has all the weather data of New York, temperature, city, and weather needs to be changed. So now let's quickly do that. So for that we are going to be using conditional rendering. So if you have weather data and the weather data has some content, then only you will print the content. So for that we are doing curly braces, whether the data and weather data dot main, then only you can inside a div, let's just quickly inside the div, slash div, I'm going to give another div. Okay, see inside the main. Okay, so name is inside the weather data dot name. So let's just see weather data dot name. Chicago, search. Yeah, so Chicago is being printed, so we are being able to access everything from the object. So yeah, let's quick. So you can see the temperature is in Fahrenheit. So okay, it's in Fahrenheit, so let's just quickly change it into Celsius. I'm going to make some changes in the API URL, that is unit is equals to metric. So now you can see that it's in Celsius, We could do rounding of the temperature value, mat.round, weather.mean.temp. So that's how we can access the temperatures. So I'm searching up degree for the degree symbol. Yeah, so our description is inside an array, so we are going to use user data.weather into the 0th array index and description. So yeah, you can see I could access everything. Let's just style it, text gray and font semi bold, and pasting it to everything. So yeah, quickly pasting it to everything. Now Kathmandu, you can see the weather of Kathmandu. New Delhi, you can see the weather. Canberra, you can see everything. So let's just try some gibberish city. Duck. Okay, why is there a city named Duck? Okay, something. Okay, Okay, so why is there a city named So let's just type something gibberish. So okay, JFK gas. If you do that, okay, there is no city name such. So for that we need to give a warning. So for that, let's just create another conditional rendering. So if you see, if I type gibberish, I am being returned an object which has a value of code and message. So a code 404. So if you receive a code 404, then you are going to print the message that is city not found. So let's just execute that. Inside curly braces, I'm going to name weather data and weather data dot code is equal to 404. Then I'm going to do inside a div. Okay, inside a div, I'm going to give a paragraph which will access inside the curly braces. Okay, a paragraph inside a curly braces. I will access weather data dot message. So weather data dot message. And if I type some gibberish, I could see city not found. So let's just make this a red color for a warning symbol. So class name text red 700. So yeah, if I type it, yeah, you can see red color. So our weather app using use state and use effect has been done. Fetching API in React and Vite is done. So this is how you can use React to create an weather app. Thank you.